Hey, this is Blake Moynes from season 16 of The Bachelorette.
Hi, this is Alana Milne from season 25 of The Bachelor.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
And you're watching The Bros Ceremony.
This is The Bros Ceremony.
Your journey's about to begin.
Recapping the week that was in Bachelor Nation and previewing what's to come in the next episode with some special betting odds.
Everyone can't wait to find out what happens next week.
Here are your hosts, Michael the Hound Dog Harrison and Adam Scully.
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
Will you accept this rose?
Let the journey continue. Welcome inside episode 9 of the Bros Ceremony podcast presented by Honeybee Meals. Spread the buzz. Adam Scully alongside Michael the Hound Dog Harrison. And Michael, we had a lot of great traction and feedback from those on social media looking at Honeybee Meals, maybe using our discount code. It was a great week for Team Bros Ceremony and Honeybee Meals.
Absolutely. A lot of people were very, very intrigued when they saw 15% off using the Bros Ceremony code, Bros Ceremony 15. A lot of people were extremely excited about that. And they were like, oh my goodness, I have to have these for sure. And they were asking my advice. Did I like them? I said, yeah, I've been eating these since August. I've been having Honeybee Meals for basically, or no, it is like half a year. So I wouldn't be hawking a product that I didn't believe in. And Honeybee Meals are like, you're literally done, ready to made meals within 2.5 minutes in the microwave, and they're delicious. All of them are outstanding meals, and you get them so quickly, and they're amazing. Like I cannot. I know they're our sponsor. I understand that, but seriously, I swear to God, they're amazing. Use the Bro Ceremony 15 promo code at honeybeemeals.com, and your life will be changed like it was for me, because they're very, very healthy and nutritious. Which is the exact same thing.
They're protein packed. They're delicious. They're nutritious. As you said, Bro Ceremony 15 on honeybeemeals.com. You can get 15% off your first order. I got to say, I've been eating them for upwards of 1.5 to 2 years, and they're great. They're awesome. And especially, Michael, in this day and age when people are working longer hours, when maybe there isn't time to spend that extra 30 to 40 minutes in the kitchen cooking up some sort of feast, throw a Honeybee meal in the microwave. 2 to 3 minutes later, it's ready to go. Bro Ceremony 15, the discount code on honeybeemeals.com. You can get your first order of meals 15% off using the promo code. Now, I should say it's a very exciting episode here for Team Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals, because TSN's own Lindsay Hamilton's going to join us very shortly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be tape this, obviously, full disclosure, before we were recording this.
No, it's all live. It's all live.
Oh, that's right. Crap. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Clearly it's live. She was absolutely amazing. We talked about several different things that happened in the episode, including probably the most controversial part, when the 5 new women came into the season. And Brittany right away was a huge character, and Anna, aka Claire Dunphy from Modern Family, Julie Bowen, claimed that she knew her somehow from Chicago, even though how would she even know this girl was on the show? And she thought she was an escort, or she'd heard that, which is a pretty amazingly huge claim to be making about someone. And so we get into that with Lindsay. Like, how the hell did she know about this woman who she didn't even know was on the show, but yet she knew her whole backstory, apparently? It was very, very bizarre. So we got to get into that. We talk about several different things, including who she thinks is going to win, Lindsay. And also we discuss Jasper Park Lodge is the rumored place for the upcoming season of The Bachelorette, which I've worked at in 2005 in the summer at the golf course. There was absolutely amazing, this course. And I have a location where I've always said, for years, I've said I will propose to the woman of my dreams there, and it happens to be at Jasper Park Lodge, and they're going to be filming there. So I think you should apply me to be on the show, Adam. What do you think about that?
I think that's the best idea. Of the 9 episodes we've now done of the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals, that right there, my friend, is the best idea. We have to get you on this season at Jasper Park, allegedly, as TSN anchor and Bachelor insider. We can call her that, Lindsay Hamilton. She's going to join us. I think, you know what? Let's go to the interview.
Cheers to the first group date.
And we're pleased to be joined by TSN anchor Lindsay Hamilton. Lindsay, welcome to the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals.
Hey, Scully, Hound Dog, pleasure to be on.
Thank you for joining us. So most of the world knows you as this TSN anchor, one of the great Canadian sports personalities, but some people don't know that you might be the biggest Bachelor series fan ever. Thoughts?
Whoa.
Very flattering intro. I don't think most of the world knows me, so already we're starting with some false promises there. But I am a Bachelor fan. I had a little period of my life where I went away from the show, but probably the last 5 years have come back. I'm trying to get people at TSN on the bandwagon. Kara Wegland, I had her watching one season, and I don't think it was her cup of tea. So I'm always trying to find my fellow Bachelor fans at TSN. And Scully, when I found out you watched the show, and Hound Dog, now I hear you're a big fan. So it's great. We're building our little tribe of Bachelor viewers.
What do you say to people who there's oftentimes, and I was the same thing about 10 years ago. I was like, oh, this show's stupid. Like, I don't care about it at all. It's awful, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched it 5 seconds in. I'm like, this is amazing. What do you say to losers who are like, oh, I hate this show. It's so dumb.
You know what? I do exactly, Hound Dog, like give it a try. Give it a few episodes, give it a season. And that's why for Wags, she came on board for, I believe it was Pilot Pete's season, which nothing against Pilot Pete, but I don't know if it was the best season for someone to be introduced to the show with. So I'm really trying to get her to give it another try. But yes, usually I'll tell people, and particularly men, because I understand the show might not have the same appeal to men as it does to women, but I'm like, give it an episode, give it a season, and you'll be hooked. And I'm not a big reality TV viewer in general. And I understand that every reality TV show has just a connotation with a lower tier of TV, if that makes sense to some extent. But The Bachelor is that perfect medium. It's your guilty pleasure, but it's not too low caliber, if that makes sense.
I mean, I suppose if people are watching this episode, they already love The Bachelor and Bachelor.
Exactly. So they all understand our obsession.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, it's totally the best. I mean, some would say it's trash reality TV. Some would say, but I mean, what I like to tell people is, you can sit on a Monday night, or whether you watch it later on a Tuesday or Wednesday if you're working, you can have some sort of food spread, maybe a water or two. And with that being, sometimes have a viewing party when that was allowed, when the world was normal last year. But Lindsay, if you're watching it and you're with a group of friends, is there like a set menu? Is there something like a charcuterie board? Is it honeybee meals? Like, what do you like to eat while watching The Bachelor?
I mean, I'm sure if honeybee meals were there, they would be demolished, because I've heard from you boys how delicious they are. But what's my go-to Bachelor snacks? I'm a big chocolate person, so chocolate of some sort, probably some chocolate almonds in there, maybe some freshly baked goods. If it was a viewing party, again, back in the day when there were viewing parties, a nice little glass of Riesling would be lovely. But these days, I'm always working on Monday night, so I watch later. So I have to stay off social media and all the spoilers on the Monday night, and then I usually get around to watching it Tuesday.
Same, but unfortunately, half the time Scully will ruin the episode for me by texting me the exact winner of the previous season. He texted me when I was in the finale, the winner of the season, and I was very
that is not allowed. Yeah, you need to lose that.
For those who don't know, you cannot delete an iMessage already sent. I learned that the hard way. I sent the message and I went, oh my God. I sent about 11 texts in a row saying, don't read
this.
Which brought even more attention to it.
Some people are really into The Bachelor spoilers every season, and they find their special websites and they find out who the winners are. I'm not into that. That's what is the intrigue of going to the next episode, to find out who's going to be kicked off, what's going on. And I mean, this season has quite a bit of drama, as we all know.
Well, I'm glad you say drama. It's a perfect segue to Queen Victoria, clearly the most polarizing figure of the season. How do you feel about her? She's definitely not boring.
Okay, so a hot take here, maybe not that hot of a take. I feel like she can't be a real contestant. Like, I think she's a plant or something. And I know that takes away from the integrity of the show, but
very small integrity of the show.
The integrity that it has. But I just watch these episodes and I think to myself, there's no way. Like some of the comments that are coming across, and again, I'm not sure how much Matt sees. So much of what the viewer sees happens in the house, and it's stuff he's not privy to. But then each and every week he keeps voting her on. But it's not a coincidence that she's always the last person to be selected.
Well,
And
last episode she wasn't. I was stunned by that. I was like,
right, okay,
5
fair.
women left. I was like, whoa. I was
Even when you watch their sit downs, there's, I mean, from the viewer's perspective, no chemistry. The conversation always seems pretty stale. And I was like, why did you keep inviting her back? Like, I'm convinced the producers have his hands tied. Nothing against Victoria. I don't see it. I don't understand it. And some of the comments are very, very mean. So I don't get it, but that's my 2 cents. I think there might be a plant by the Bachelor producers who are very sneaky.
Well, some of the things she was saying this last episode, like I feel like throughout the season, the first few episodes, clearly she was a huge villain. And then there was about half an episode where it's like, wait a minute, is she the voice of reason here? Is she
was
actually
an all-star? She was an
not too
all-star 2
bad?
episodes ago. Yeah.
And then she went back to being like hating on Sarah. It's like, whoa. And then this last episode with some of the remarks she was making about women, it's like, I can't believe like that's
Exactly. And I think it's like the toxic energy seems to be spreading in the house. Like now she's kind of got Anna as her wing woman, and the two of them can just get on these nasty tangents. So I think that has to be cut out ASAP. And hopefully, I believe in Matt James. I hope he sees that.
Yeah, we believe in Matt James too, and we'll find out on tonight's episode what he decides to do. But as Michael and I like to discuss almost with every guest, in every episode, the amazingness that is Chris Harrison. Now, I mean, I don't know about you, but like
his uncle actually, but
so he's Michael's uncle. If you didn't know that already, Lindsay.
What?
Yep. Yeah, it's like I guess technically second uncle, but yeah.
Whoa! You have to walk me through this. So your mom, your dad, whose side of the family?
My mom's side of the family. I've only ever met him once, but that was like before he even was on The Bachelor. So to be honest, like it was a bit before he became sort of famous or whatever. So I don't know him too well. And also, I just lied to you right there. I really wish.
I was so like,
how many L's in gullible?
You had me. I was very gullible, and I was going to ask him, like, did he always seem like a guy who valued love? And have you read his book? And I'm going to go down a deep dive. Oh, that makes me sad. I thought you had a great connection.
But in terms of in terms of awesomeness, though, like he's just like the voice of reason, is he not? He's just the man.
And now I feel as though he's kind of embraced his dad role on the show. Like he just comes in and he's just like a fatherly figure. He's always given everyone advice, and he has the book out now, which I haven't read. I don't know if you guys have read the book, but I also noticed when they did the GOAT series, which was, I guess, 2 seasons ago, he had his own golf bag, and I hear he's a really great golfer. So yeah, Chris Harrison, I mean, he's a staple of the show. However many seasons it's on now, he's been there from day one. So he's seen everyone come and go.
There's a rumor that possibly he might be done after the season, or at least very, very soon. I think he bought a house with his wife or girlfriend, I'm not sure exactly, in Texas, I think it was. So there's a prevailing thought that maybe he's going to leave the show. I just think he's just trying to get more money out of them, pretty much, right?
I mean, he's the one that has lasted this whole time. So I say, get that contract as good as you can. I don't think he can leave the show. No. The show's not the same without Chris.
It's like Jeff Probst not being on Survivor. It would be like, no, that's just
or Ryan Seacrest without American Idol. Like it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing as the Bros ceremony without Adam Scully or Michael Harrison. Oh,
exactly.
And so we mentioned Chris Harrison, and obviously he's this father figure or this like brotherly figure with all of the bachelors or bachelorettes. If you could go back of all the seasons you've watched, who would you say is your favorite bachelor or bachelorette?
Oh, easy. Ben Higgins, Bachelor. Which I feel like that's a pretty popular answer probably. And he made a cameo in last week's episode with Matt James. It was great to see him back, put the girls through the Pennsylvania obstacle course, which was enjoyable. The poor girl out stuck in her pumpkin who couldn't kayak.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing advice, by the way, from Matt on that one when she couldn't figure it out. He was just like, "Oh, paddle, use your paddles."
You know, right? Like
advice. God.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say Ben Higgins probably. I think he just, from everything you see and read, He seems like a pretty stand-up guy. He has his coffee charity. He just wrote a book. I haven't read it, but he's got a book coming out. So I'd say
And he's a good golfer too, Ben Higgins.
There
He's
you
played
go.
in some
Add that
PGA
to the
Tour.
resume.
And I'm not going to tease too much, but some exciting news maybe around Ben Higgins and the bros ceremony. I guess you'll have to wait and see in a couple of weeks.
He's an upcoming guest?
Only time will tell, I guess, as they say. Ben Higgins.
That would be
his Zoom
huge.
cut out there, so you never know if he was actually saying there. Was he
was it a
saying
what?
that he was on? You just don't know. You just don't.
I mean, you got to shoot your shot. So give Ben a call.
Yeah, well, definitely.
If we can go back to this season, in the last episode that aired last week, I can't figure this out. So Anna, of course, as you were talking about with Victoria, was talking. They're sort of become the two mean girls. When she said about Brittany, one of the newer contestants, she said something along the lines of like she heard from some people in like the Chicago area that Brittany is like an escort. Well, my question is, how in the world, like she clearly had to have known that Brittany was going to come onto the show, because it's like, oh yeah, I've heard from people in Chicago. Where the hell did you hear from people in Chicago? Like
Thank
clearly,
you, Hound Dog.
who's on the
I
show
was wondering
eventually.
the exact same thing, because to my understanding is that contestants cannot have cell phones or computers or any device that connects them to the outside world while they're on the show. And Brittany was part of the new edition of the 5 women who came on the show this past week, which it seems as though none of the girls knew about.
Right,
But
exactly.
somehow Anna knows everything there is to know about this new girl. So again, either these Bachelor producers have like given her a phone or planted this information, or they were part of the same friend group in Chicago, which also seems like a very big stretch. I don't know. Some really big question marks though.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I know some people and some random people in Chicago told me about to be worried about her. Well, you didn't see her the first 3 episodes or whatever it was, 4 episodes.
Right.
So,
but should you be surprised? Because this is the show, I'm going to forget both of their names, but it was last season, I believe. And who was the girl who dated the musician? And then all of a sudden they're at the concert.
she had the same name as Victoria.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yes. And same thing, like you just know the Bachelor producers are sitting there and like, ooh, let's see how this explodes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they plot all this out. But yeah, that was a nasty side of the show last week. I don't like that part of it. Like that's when I talk about the integrity of the show. I'm not there for that kind of stuff. But when you get a really good date, like Matt and Michelle, the date they had, I thought that was a really great connection. I'm a fan of Rachel this season. Who else do I like? Abigail seems really sweet.
Yeah.
So there's always a couple that seem like really genuine, down-to-earth, good people, and then a lot of drama scattered all.
I have a couple of contestants who I've talked about on this Bro Ceremony podcast, women that I think have celebrity lookalikes. I'm interested to see if you agree or disagree.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the first one, Anna, we were just talking about her, the blonde. Anna, Julie Bowen, the mother from Modern Family and Happy Gilmore's love interest.
Yes, I do see that because it's, I would say, okay, so I love the character in Modern Family.
Yes.
They both have the really big mouth expressions.
Very
I
big.
think that with happiness to both of them in their mouths. I'm not trying to balance their mouths. But yeah, they have the similar reaction. I agree. Okay, let's hear the next one.
Sarah, who left the show 2 weeks ago, and Alexis from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, that is a really good one.
Yeah.
We should get, or what you guys should do is like little side-by-side pictures, and you should have people vote. That could be your next Instagram promo. Have a little.
I like that because we posted a promo where Michael brilliantly compared Sarah and Alexis from Schitt's Creek, and it got over 3,000 views on Instagram. So people watch.
There you go. You know your market.
Apparently, and the other last two are Rachel, who I think is, to be honest, I think Adam picked her as one of his picks. Rachel, I think, is a lead contender to win, and Mila Kunis. Rachel and Mila Kunis.
Oh wow, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I kind of see that one actually.
And then the last one is it's Katie, who I think if I remember correctly, I called her the vibrator girl. The first episode, it's like, she's ridiculous. We don't like her. I'm like, she's gonna be really cool. Now everyone loves her.
Exactly.
Katie with previous Bachelor contestant Christina from Bachelor in Paradise.
I do. Okay. Christina, is Christina from Russia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I do. Those are good comparisons, Hound Dog.
4 for 4. Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna
put
stop
these all
on the head.
together and do side-by-side photos and
Just
get the rest of the Bachelor community to vote. But I think you're onto something. This is a good segment.
Yeah. Well, so we just mentioned Rachel, and so sorry, not Rachel, Brittany. When Brittany came on, and she had the bold move saying, you know, Matt, I'm gonna enough time wasting, and just went in for a kiss. We've seen people walking in with certain toys, you know, holding different objects or whatever. If you had any sort of bold move, if you were on the show, whether it was a line or coming in like a pizza delivery car, like someone did, what would you do?
Right. Oh gosh, I don't know. I've never thought about this before.
Something sports related,
You
maybe?
can wear
or-
that San Francisco 49ers nonsense you have on. That would be a no-go.
I don't know about that. I think I'd try to do something maybe like, still that's me, that felt genuine. Maybe something to break the ice, but nothing too crazy. Like, I don't think I'd be the one probably showing up in like, what was the girl who showed up in a shark suit a couple years ago or something like that. Like, I don't know if I'd go that far out. But some of them are creative in that they'll come on like a bicycle or a pickup truck, or if you can like work it into something that works with your personality. Like, I don't know if I bring a lacrosse stick or I don't know. I think it's something maybe fun, but some of them are a little too forward. Like Brittany showing up and going straight to the kiss.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm digging that vibe, but each to their own.
How about this move? You get out of the limo, you walk right up to Matt James, and instead of like talking to him or introducing yourself, you just keep walking right into the mansion. Just bye.
Like, hey, you see me over here? I mean, that's bold. Have you guys thought about your entrances? If you were on The Bachelorette, what'd you do?
Ooh.
I'm
It's a
sure
good
I would
thing
make
this is
some
video.
stupid. I already made a golf pun. If I had a date card
Say
a few
this.
episodes ago, the date card would say like, "Are you for me?" FORE. I think I would make some stupid golf pun, and then she would probably be like, "You're a loser."
I love
and
you.
Then I'd be
Yes.
Then I'd be off the show.
I like that though. No, get some humor in there early on.
Oh, I would try same thing. Like I would try to, I'm sure they talk to the producers about, you know, what can we say that isn't too forced or try to say something smooth. I would just be so nervous that like one of the ladies almost tripped. I feel like I might be in that boat. Maybe don't wear too high of a heel on my dress shoes. I don't know, but it's a tough call. Hey,
And Matt James seemed a little nervous on that opening night, which I thought was very endearing and honest. And, you know, because this is the first time we've seen someone who wasn't a previous contestant, right? So it's kind of neat for him because I think he's doing it all for the first time. So he's been thrown into the deep end.
I have a pretty easy prediction. Everyone loves Katie. We all love her. I think she's going to go to like the final 3 or 4, get her heart broken, and then she's going to be the Bachelorette.
You're thinking she's next. Well, to add to that, I've heard rumors this week that apparently the next filming location is out in Jasper.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
Jasper Park Lodge. I worked there in the summer of 2005 at the golf course there.
Oh, amazing.
Before I got to TSN in 06. So I know that place very well. And I swear to God, no word of a lie, I swear. I always said the place I would propose to my, at this point, imaginary lady friend would be on the 14th green because it's there's a beautiful mountain range. And at sunset, there's a lake there. It's honestly spectacular view.
This sounds stunning. So Hound Dog, what would you do if next season, there they are on the 14th hole, sun is setting, and
he's on the season. He's there.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Clearly, I should be on the season. Is what I was gonna say. So
you should write the producers. Let them know.
I think Adam, you should nominate me to be on the show because honestly, that view is, I'm not even kidding, amazing, and I love that place so much. I haven't been there in 15 years, 16 years, I guess now. Jasper Park Lodge. Outstanding place.
Well, that's the thing. So it's rumors right now, but it would be a beautiful location to go to. I mean, I've been out that way as well, Jasper, Lake Louise, and it's stunning. And I think they made the right call doing this season out in Pennsylvania because last season they were stuck on that compound and the dates, as we all know, kind of sucked. Whereas at least this season, you know, they're on ATVing and you know, hot air balloons. And I feel as though in Jasper, you could do so many different activities. It would be a good spot during the pandemic.
Speaking of those dates, Michelle, I believe the name was one of the newer women that went on the show. She authored up one of my favorite quotes in the history of The Bachelor this past episode.
Ooh, let's hear it.
I loved it so much. And I understand they're coached to say things and, they're trying to explain what their date was like, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But she was saying, I don't know. Oh yeah. They were going on the hot air balloon.
Yes.
And she goes, this is a quote from her. This is a quote from her. I really hope I have fun. Really? You really hope you have fun? Wow. What a shocker. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, sometimes the descriptions are better than others. Yeah. I thought you were going to go with the Maya Angelou quote, but the fun one is great too. Although I do like Michelle. I think she's one of my favorites, and she was part of the new batch of women. So
yeah, right away.
She could make a long run.
Yeah. She was one of the new batch on The Bachelor. Sorry. That was bad. That wasn't my finest hour. Now you mentioned, some of your favorites. Before we let you go, predictions. What do you think? Is Queen Victoria going to steal the spotlight and be the?
No.
Who do you think is in Matt's heart right now?
Okay, so I really like Rachel, so I hope she makes a long run. She hasn't had a one-on-one yet, but I feel as though it's going to be coming up in the next few weeks. And I like Rachel for a few reasons. One is because when they go to the group shots of the women, she's never bashing the other woman. She just keeps it to herself. She only has kind things to say about people. I think that says a lot about someone. Also, the time Matt kissed her, she kind of had just a good little back and forth chemistry, because I will say Matt is kind of the kissing bandit. And a lot of other women are like pushing themselves on him, whereas she let it happen naturally. So I really like that. So fan of Rachel. Abigail, I have a feeling she might make a deep run.
Love her.
And Michelle. I like Michelle. I think she was an athlete. I don't know what her sport was, but they did mention that she was an athlete as well. Matt James is really into the physical activity. They both like helping charity and working with children and making a difference in the world. So they're very in line with their values. They seem to share faith. So, and they had good chemistry on that date. So those are my three right now, but I have no idea. And as for Victoria, nothing against Victoria, but I don't see the connection there. So I don't know how much longer that's going to last.
I think it's everything against Victoria, actually. I think I read between the lines there.
Yeah, I was trying not to be too mean, but like, it's just bringing too much toxic energy into the show. So I say Victoria's got to go.
I think it's going to be Rachel winner, Bree runner up, and then Katie, like I said earlier, is like the third runner up, like the or I guess the second runner up. So close, she didn't get, and then she's going to be the Bachelorette.
Okay, Katie for the next Bachelor or Bachelorette rather.
I like that. I wouldn't hate the Rachel prediction as well, because I picked her, and Hound Dog and I are a little mini pool. My first pick, Ileana, who had another bold line on night one. She got sent home early, but I am on team Rachel as well. Let's go, Rachel. We'll see where Rachel goes. The next episode goes tonight. Lindsay, thanks so much for your time today, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. You too. I hope one of us gets our prediction right.
Ladies, gentlemen, it's the final rose tonight.
Michael, awesome to have Lindsay on the show. So many highlights from the interview, but how many L's in gullible, Linz? Uncle Harrison? Man. Come on.
I probably perhaps should have stretched it, maybe an extra like 30 seconds to keep going with it. But I thought, it would ruin the whole joke if she eventually figured it out. So I thought, let end on a high, like a lot of British shows, they'll go 2 seasons, they're amazing. And then they end and everyone's like, no, they are clamoring for more. I wanted to end on a high, don't end on a downturn. So I didn't want to keep going with that story. And then she figured it out. Then I was like, oh no, I love the fact that she really, truly thought that. I wish he was. I truly wish Uncle Chris Harrison actually was my uncle. That would be amazing.
As do I. And, as Lindsay said during the interview, sometimes she has some different sweets while she watches The Bachelor, maybe the odd Riesling. Maybe she should try sampling honey bee meals while watching The Bachelor. If you use our promo code BROSCEREMONY15 on honeybeemeals.com, you get 15% off your first order. These meals, they're protein packed, they're nutritious, they're delicious. 2.5, 3 minutes in the microwave. If you've had a long, busy day at work and just want to eat some very healthy food, throw this in the microwave. 2 to 3 minutes later, you have a protein-packed meal waiting for you there. BroCeremony15, honeybeemeals.com. Use that promo code, you get 15% off your first order. We're very pleased to be sponsored by honeybeemeals.com, and we've both been using the product for a very long time.
I was going to compliment you on that. Was outstanding ad read, and that was probably your best one yet. However, there was a slight second there where it sounded like you were saying honey me meals instead of honey bee meals. And it really, if we would record scratch, go back to that, you might have actually said that honey me meals as opposed to honey bee meal. And if that's the case, that'd be hilarious. But no, that was
I might have.
Tremendous ad read, Adam. I'm proud of you, Adam.
Thank you. I think I actually might have said that. So, I mean, a few too many pucks at the noggin. You know, I've been through a lot in life.
Oh, were you a goalie in the OHL? Oh, I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that about 513 times.
Wow, 513. I'm not sure where that number came from, but yeah, you know, that's yeah. Anyways, getting back to the topic at hand here. Thanks again for Lindsay for joining us here on the podcast. As we discussed with Lindsay, this episode was crazy. It was dramatic. We had ladies coming in. We had allegations about someone being an escort, which is just so bizarrely awful. As the episode ended, Katie went up to Matt James and said, and I'm quoting you here, there's some pretty bad rumors starting about the new girls that could literally ruin their lives. I'm not even exaggerating. What do you think is going to happen tonight, Michael?
I just find it a little bit weird, and of course, there's obviously some editing, with this episode. But when Brittany when Claire Dunphy, Julie Bowen said about Claire to her face, like, "Yeah, I said, Brittany, I said that you're an escort, blah blah blah." She really didn't react all that strongly. I would have thought she would have been like, "What are you talking about?" or like yelling at her or something. But it seemed like she was almost like, did you find she was just like, "Yeah, well, like," and then afterwards the camera was like, "That's not cool." Like I would have. If that, I mean, I don't think anyone could mistake me for being an escort. Probably not. But if someone were to say that about me or something egregious about me, I think I would respond in kind a little bit, pretty firmly. But did you find that she wasn't really all that, backing herself up?
Yeah, it was more out of confusion. Maybe it seemed like, oh, like, have you been telling ladies in the house this? Like, it was a very strange response. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tonight. It's going to be uber spicy. That's for sure. You know, I like using the term spicy when describing The Bachelor. I can tell by the look on your face that you are just shaking your head internally, but not externally. Am I right?
Well, yeah, you are absolutely correct, Adam. I think as we've discussed through these episodes on the Bro Ceremony, Katie is the star of the season, and as I said in the prediction with Lindsay, I think she's going to go all the way to like the final three, and Matt's going to appreciate her honesty, like he's going in tonight about the fact, this controversy that's swirling. But yeah, she's an instant star. Everyone loves her, which was crazy, and some brilliant guy I think predicted that after episode 1. And I think she's going to get to the bottom of this, and Matt's going to, I'm sure his heart's going to be broken because all the confusion. It must be so hard for him to follow all these different storylines that the producers are throwing at him. Like, whoa, my God, escort. Like that, I'm sure it wasn't even anywhere close to his radar, but now he has to wade through those waters. So it's going to be tough for him.
You mentioned someone brilliant making that prediction. Does his name rhyme with Deichel Garrison?
You know what? You might be right. That's Deichel Garrison. That's a good one. I like that guy. He's my alter ego who's actually hot.
Well, it all gets going underway tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on City TV or ABC, wherever you're watching us from coast to coast on the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals. Looking forward to seeing where Matt James' heart takes him next. It will be thrilling for sure. A couple items before we leave you today, starting with the Bachelor pool we're in. So someone did not make his predictions a couple weeks ago, but you know what? I'm climbing the ladder slowly.
But like I said last episode, I'm pretty sure if you don't make any picks, they just auto pick to what you picked the previous week. I'm pretty sure.
They must not have been good picks the first week.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I'm at 4. I don't know if I moved up here, but I'm 41 out of 55. Not great, but not horrific.
I'm 45. I'm 4 behind you now, baby.
No, you're 51st. I checked last night. You're 51st.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that was good. Yes. 51st at 55, Adam.
Oh,
you are climbing up though. You're not as bad as you once were, but yikes. Not so good.
Not so good. Yeah. So like you mentioned on our last episode, if you think that we're reading spoilers and we know everything that happens, clearly that isn't the case because Dum Dum over here is in 4th last right now. At least I'm not in dead last. I got to say that.
Yeah. You're just almost quite horrible, but you're just a sliver above that.
I'm not sure why I thought it was 45th. Maybe I'm a big Jonathan Bernier fan or something.
Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I don't think.
No. As we've come to learn throughout these episodes on the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals, you, Michael, are always right. I think so. Anyway, but before we sign off here, H Dog Pod, as we mentioned many times before, you are the host of the H Dog Pod, and the episode this week, a very important message.
Yeah, I talked with a coworker of mine, Heather McKenzie, and she actually asked me if she can share her story on my podcast, which I was very honored that she trusted me enough to be able to tell her story about her managing mental illness, bipolar disorder, and borderline personality disorder. And she talked about some harmful things that she did to herself in years past, even up to 2017. But the strategies that she's using to cope to be able to get through all that. It's a really, really important discussion. I was, to be quite frank, fairly nervous about it because I want to this is a very, very important topic, and I wanted to make sure I told her story properly. Mm-hmm. And I think it turned out, I'm honestly very, very proud of it. It turned out really, really well. And she was able to tell her story, and she's very, very proud of that. She's very happy. A lot of great feedback about it. And also her dog, Toby, brought some great levity to the proceedings in the middle of the episode. He started barking like crazy, and she had to tell him to shut up. It was amazing. And I made a little joke about that. There's only room for one hound dog on this podcast. It was an amazing little interlude to the episode. But no, really, really important discussion about mental health. Of course, Bell Let's Talk Day being last Thursday, a very hugely important day. And I'm very honored that she trusted me, like I said, to tell her story. And it was some of my proudest work, honestly.
Very important conversation. Like you mentioned, Bell Let's Talk Day was last Thursday. The hashtag Bell Let's Talk, over hundreds of thousands of dollars donated for this, probably way more than that. People using the hashtag on Instagram, on Twitter, Snapchat filters, Facebook, everything on social media. And, 2020 wasn't the easiest year. And it was a lot of time spent alone in isolation, people losing family members, people away from their family. And the message before we go today is just talk. Just if there's something, if you're not feeling right, and it's hard. It's hard to, I know we joke about it all the time, but it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to say that you need help. It's challenging. And to all those who are struggling, you're not alone. And reach out to a family member, reach out to a friend, reach out to, talk to your dog. Dogs are amazing for social media. Talk to your dog, talk to your cat, talk to your pet. It's an incredibly important matter. And,
let's keep the conversation going as well. Like, not just for Bell Let's Talk, throughout the entire year. I try doing that like 3 or 4 times a year on Twitter, just putting that essentially the same tweet out, like, to anyone who does need to talk, because we all have struggles. No one's a perfect package. You see on social media, everyone's lives, it seemed to be so amazing. No one's life is ever as amazing as it is on social media. No chance. They're obviously only usually putting out the best of themselves. So anytime you talk to us as well, honestly, day or night, anytime, we'll always be there. No question about that.
It's a very important topic. That's for sure. This has been another fun episode of the Bros Ceremony podcast presented by Honeybee Meals. Lots of topics discussed this week. Looking forward to next week when we bring you our landmark 10th edition of the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals. We are reaching double digits. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram, follow or subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on YouTube as well. I think you can follow on YouTube as well. On Twitter, we continue to post some little clips and snippets of our interviews and podcasts on Instagram. And we have some very exciting guests coming up. You're not going to want to miss this. For Michael the Hound Dog Harrison, I'm Adam Scully. Thanks so much for joining us right here on the Bros Ceremony presented by Honeybee Meals.